Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something really magical. We are deconstructing the technical and psychological secrets behind crafting an ultra-cinematic, emotional music video. Our goal here is to build a visual story that perfectly contrasts a young man's rainy night loneliness with the golden, incredibly nostalgic memories of his past love. So, let's get right into it.
Picture this scene with me. A young, handsome man is completely alone in his dark, shadowy room. He's singing a heartfelt love song, and outside his window, rain is falling softly. As he looks out into the night, he's just totally consumed by these beautiful, dreamlike flashbacks. He remembers the girl he loved, exchanging those shy glances, her hair moving in a gentle breeze, and those warm, sunlit coffee dates they used to share. It's a classic, deeply emotional tale of longing, but bringing it to life requires a very specific toolkit.
Here is our masterclass roadmap for today. We'll be covering the vision, the psychology of love scenes, lighting the rainy night, contrasting cold and warm, and finally, editing dreamlike flashbacks.
Starting right off with Section 1, the vision, a cinematic romance. Before you even touch a camera or open up your editing software, you absolutely need a crystal clear vision of the narrative contrast. We're dealing with two completely different worlds here, and this lyric serves as our emotional anchor. Yad abi mujhe tera kirki pe aana, which beautifully translates to remembering her coming to the window. Surrounded by old photographs and empty coffee cups as he sings, these heartfelt words are the literal bridge between his harsh, isolating reality in that dark room and the soft focus, sunny imagination we're going to build.
Moving right along to Section 2, the psychology of love scenes.
To make those golden hour coffee dates and quiet sunset walks actually feel believable, we have to understand human connection. There's this great insight from NY Castings that reminds us that creating the illusion of romance on camera isn't about being explicit at all. It's really about conveying a deep, unbreakable emotional connection. The actors have to tap into a very specific physical and mental state to make the audience genuinely feel that warmth.
So how do they actually pull that off? Well, our source highlights 5 practical methods for actors to build this chemistry. First, they need to get to know each other off-screen to build real trust. They've got to discuss the specific energy of the scene beforehand. It requires genuine emotional openness and somehow finding that romantic headspace, even when they're surrounded by a bustling film crew. And finally, they have to rely on subtle body language and facial expressions, like those shy glances we want in our flashbacks, rather than just dialogue. It's that shared energy that makes the memory feel so agonizingly beautiful to the boy in the present.
All right, Section 3, lighting the rainy night.
Okay, let's get into the technical production. Our subject is all alone in the present day, and we need an atmosphere outside his window that feels realistically gloomy, yet highly cinematic. We actually learned this brilliant, super budget-friendly trick for this. If you want that perfect rainy aesthetic where the drops look like glimmering little jewels, you don't just spray a window with a hose. No way. Step 1, you actually rub car wax on the exterior of the window. Step 2, then you spray your water. Because of the wax, the water beads up perfectly. And then step 3, you blast a cool tone light from the outside to catch all those little beads.
Let's break down the exact lighting setup for this present-day isolation look. You're going to take a daylight fixture, like a 300D or 1200D, and put it outside the window. To get that moody blue moonlight effect, you drop your camera's white balance way down to a very chilly 3800 Kelvin. But you can't just let that light spill everywhere, right? You have to use a softbox with a grid to focus the light directly onto your talent. That creates a beautiful wrap on his face while keeping the rest of the room nice and dark. And if light spills onto the curtains, just use everyday objects like a couple of books to flag it off. It works perfectly.
Now, to really dial up the dramatic flair of his singing, you can introduce a lightning effect. Just by adding a subtle, occasional pulse from an outside light, you dramatically filled the deep shadows on his face for just a fraction of a second. This doesn't just highlight those waxed raindrops on the window, it adds this sudden, emotional visual interest to the close-ups of him singing our central lyric.
Which brings us to Section 4, contrasting cold and warm.
So why does color matter so much here? Well, academic research from the International Journal of Novel Research and Development confirms that lighting is literally a psychological trigger. Cool colors, like that blue moonlight we just set up, they evoke isolation, sadness, and sterility. But on the flip side, warm colors, like your reds and oranges, convey passion, comfort, and intimacy. We are quite literally manipulating the viewer's emotions using the Kelvin scale.
And this gives us a totally distinct visual blueprint. For the present day, we go with low-key lighting, high contrast, deep shadows, and we bathe it in those cool 3800 Kelvin blues to scream isolation. But for our memory sequences, those cozy cafe dates and quiet sunset walks, we flip it to high key, much softer lighting. We'll balance our camera at 5600K or push our practical lights to a cozy 2700K to make those moments feel incredibly warm, safe, and deeply intimate.
But here's the thing. Even in that lonely present day, we still want a tiny hint of the warmth he's missing. You can easily do this by motivating light from a practical lamp right there in his room, or using a 2700K rim light on his shoulder to create color contrast within the exact same frame. And here is a real insider secret from our aperture source. Don't be afraid to just break the rules. Kill the main key light entirely and just use a warm Rembrandt patch of light for a highly dramatic, moody close-up as he remembers the girl.
And finally, Section 5, Editing Dreamlike Flashbacks.
Okay, so we have our beautifully lit footage. Now, how do we actually stitch it all together? Let's dive into an incredibly effective Premiere Pro workflow for a dream transition. Step 1, drop an adjustment layer over your cut. Step 2, throw a Gaussian blur onto it and make sure you check Repeat Edge Pixels. Step 3, create an ellipse mask, position it off-screen, and animate it to sweep across the frame. Finally, Step 4, to really sell the dream vibe, add a levels effect and animate the RGB gamma way up to around 400. It creates this stunning, glowing, soft focus blur. It's like literally watching him slip from a lonely reality right into a bright memory.
To push those memories of them walking hand in hand even further, you want to pull from your Dream Sequence Toolkit. Try reversing the clip speed for this cool, surreal, kind of unearthly feel. You'll definitely want to cut and incrementally scale your footage right on the beat of the music. And don't forget to layer in soft light leaks and cinematic bokeh effects to seamlessly blend the warm whites, gently shifting the colors to really guide the viewer's eye through this romantic, nostalgic atmosphere. Finally, you have to consider the profound emotional weight of a double exposure. This is where you visually blend the two worlds together. By using a soft light blend mode, you literally layer the golden memory of the girl smiling at the window directly over the dark, cool reality of the boy sitting alone in his room. His body is stuck in the present, but his mind is completely overlaid by the beautiful past. It's just such a touching and heartfelt technique to cap off our visual story.
So we've explored the actor's psychology, the technical wizardry of rainy lighting, the deep emotional impact of color temperatures, and the post-production secrets of dream states. You basically have the exact blueprint to build a cinematic romance that'll really resonate with an audience. So here's my final question to you. How will you use these powerful tools